We are going to start with two presentations from the representative from EIT Manufacturing, and we have with us Francesca Girardi, who is a regional innovation scheme operations manager. She will tell you a little bit more what is the regional innovation scheme, and I will comment that hubs, so the organizations such as us are part of this. And then Jasmina Popovska, who is a manager of business creation programs, so programs that really support SMEs and startups. And following that, then we will have these presentations from our local companies. Please, if you would like to ask questions, post them in the chat. Depending on the timing, I can then ask maybe one or two questions at the end of the presentation. And then additionally, at the end, we will have a Q&A session. But, please ask questions as we go along. And then if there is opportunity at the end of the presentation, I can also pose them there. So to start, Francesca, I think you will go first. And I'm very happy to give the mic to you.
Yes, thank you very much for the introduction. Can you hear me well? Very good. Okay, then here we are. So we'll set the scene with a little presentation of EIT Manufacturing. I know that some of you already know about us, some of you don't. So I was in a breakout room with someone that didn't know about EIT Manufacturing. So it's always good to give a little bit of an overview of what we do. So all our opportunities. So let's start. So of course we're here because we all think that manufacturing industry is paramount for Europe's economic, social, and environmental sustainability. The sector, of course, is a main driver for industrial innovation, job creation, and growth for Europe's society. These are some numbers from our global of our manufacturing in Europe. So we think that global manufacturing innovation should be led by Europe. And we also share some challenges across Europe and the world on which we're working on. So digital transformation, sustainability, and competition. As I was saying, our vision is that global manufacturing innovation is led by Europe, and we do it by bringing together manufacturing actors across Europe to integrate innovation and education for an entrepreneurial and sustainable Europe. This was our, let's say, growth from ramp-ups, from an initial phase of engaging committed partners. So we've been working on finding the right partners of our network to addressing the European challenges to gain trust through excellence. We have a unique approach. So we have an innovation based on industry needs. We are a public-private partnership with more than 65 now full members and more than 50 activity partners. Activity partners are the ones that actually work in consortium in our activities. So they're not full member of EIT Manufacturing, but takes part in our activities and throughout the years. And our partnership is composed by companies, by university, and by RTO. So this is also the added value of EIT Manufacturing, that we really work with all the parts of the innovation ecosystems. And we have a 400 million budget until 2026. How do we do it in practice? We have 5 strategic objectives that you can see here. So competitive manufacturing skills and social sustainability, powerful manufacturing and innovation ecosystem, globally competitive and resilient manufacturing, environmentally sustainable manufacturing, and manufacturing fit for the digital age. And we do it through an approaching it from 3 different sides, but at the same time, all these sides are linked to each other. So this is the knowledge triangle integration we talk about. So we have from one side business creation, education, and innovation, and our activities address all these 3 sides of the knowledge triangle in integration. Where are we? I'm talking to you from Paris, our headquarters, but we have offices all around Europe. We have 5 co-location centers in Spain, in Italy, in Germany, in Sweden, and in Austria, in Vienna, where Jasmina, my colleague, is talking from. So also we have 4 focus areas. These are our flagships, and all our activities must address at least one of these focus areas. This is a little bit of a screenshot of our partnership, just to show you with which organization are we working with and which organization you would work with if you want to be part of our ecosystem. You don't need to be a full member to work with this companies, this university or RTOs. You can be an activity partner and be part of a consortium with them. As I was saying before, the strength of EIT Manufacturing is this, that we work on, we connect and integrate the areas of education, innovation, and business creation, all under the RIS also umbrella as well. So I will go through each of this pillar, innovation, business creation, and education, and RIS, to a little bit show you what are the opportunities here. Business creation, I will just give you a very quick overview. I will leave to Jasmina to go into the depth of what they're doing in business creation. So the objective of innovation is creating value and impact. So supporting the European manufacturing community of companies and tech organizations to industrialize innovative projects. And how we do it by ensuring the adoption of innovation for manufacturers as end users, increase market traction, ensure market reach and exploitation, and explore and test go-to-market strategy to reach the right targets. What EIT Manufacturing can do for you, we can decrease the risks in project to provide higher business growth potential, give innovative edge through access to technology and business implementation, and foster engagement with the right partner. I'm showing you before the partnership. These are the partners we're working on every day on different projects in different innovation, let's say, focus. So this is what you could do as well with us, or we can, direct you to the right partner for the right project. Business creation, as I was saying before, we engage with startups, scale-up SMEs, and actively support companies. But this I will leave to Jasmina to explain to you later on. And I will go directly to education. So we have the education pillar. We have a full team working on education topic. And this is all about empowering Europe with people that are capable and inspired to shape the future of manufacturing. These are our goals by 2027. So to educate individuals, 30,000, this is our goal, to empower women towards a career in manufacturing, to have a 2,000 EIT label master and PhD graduates. What have we achieved so far in terms of education is 21 teaching and learning factories. Teaching and learning factories are a very interesting concept in which we bring together university, RTOs, and the industry to learn from each other and to create projects and the ideas. We have manufacturing digital learning. I will mention later, but this is our learning platform SkillsMove, in which we have more than 500 digital learning units. We have 4 EIT level master and 1 PhD program. These are our programs in education. We have the Empower programs that is directed to master and PhDs. We have the Transform program that is more directed to organization, education, and training, so upskilling and reskilling programs for corporates. And we have the Engage program, in which we try to attract young talents through networking, workshops, events, engage women and pupils, and cross-industry societal engagement. And then all of this is announced by SkillsMove. So our objective is not to lose the knowledge that we create through our activities throughout the year. So when you participate in a project and you create knowledge, we always try to transform this knowledge in nuggets in digital learning paths and journeys in order to be uploaded to our digital platform in a way that workers, teachers, students can go there and learn from it. So SkillsMove will be launched in the next month. So stay tuned on our social media, on our website, if you want to get to know more about it. And then we have the RIS. So I'm the RIS Operations Manager. So I work in the RIS pillars. The RIS, the Regional Innovation Scheme, was created by EIT in order to boost innovation in EIT RIS countries by strengthening links between key innovation actors. The RIS countries are the one defined by the European Commission as modest or moderate innovators. So, and Croatia is one of them. So we try to work and implement activities under all the other three pillars. So activities in terms of education, business creation, or innovation, only in the RIS countries and only for organizations coming from RIS countries. So here you have, if you're an organization from Croatia, the RIS activities are for you, let's say, a good opportunity to come in and do not have to compete with other big companies from other European countries. As I was saying before, the objective here is to widen the participation in our innovation activities by engaging players from countries that have lower participation, share the good practices, experience, and know-how emerging from our activities with the local ecosystem, and offer tailor-made services to address identified innovation gaps. And here, our hub comes in work because they know what the local ecosystem needs and what we give them. We opportunities we have, and so they are the link between the local, needs and organizations and us at the European level. So the work that the hub does in the country at local level is extremely important in this. So here is a little bit of an overview of what we did this year and what we are doing currently this year, so that you can actually a little bit get prepared for next year. Because these are, let's say, not recurrent activities, but they are activities that are successful and that we will probably be continuing next year, maybe in a different way, in a different format, but the concept, let's say, is similar. On the right side here, you have our Ris Hubs Network. So we have 13 hubs that play the role as our representative in the country. As you can see, the University of Zagreb is there. But we have all other organizations in other countries that play the role as hubs. So the hubs are, as I was saying before, very important for engaging the right actors in the countries, in the RIS countries, and really increasing participation in our activities. We have been seeing in the last 3 years a big increase in applications in our innovation call, and I think this is also due to the good work that hubs do in their country. We have also the teaching and learning factories in the RIS countries. I think this will be definitely an activity that will continue also next year. So if you are a company or a university interested in this concept, keep an eye on it. We will continue engaging pupils in schools. So we have projects in which we bring industry or RTOs or university in high schools, explaining and bringing, hands-on experience for the high school students to present them and to inform them about a possible career in manufacturing, so to attract them to the sector. We have different activities in terms of innovation. This year was the evolution of research results, in which if you have already some results developed during another funded activity, then we could support you in bringing this to the European market. So this was one activity. We had the business creation activities, in which you had support in transforming digitally your company, your startup, or your SME. We had a competition for women innovators in manufacturing. And then we have also our cross-kick activities. So we work with our other kicks. So EIT Manufacturing is called a kick. And we have also, for example, energy, we have a climate kick, we have health, food. So this is all the kicks under EIT. And we work together with them in RIS countries in order to develop some activities together in this area. So, for example, this year we had also the Western Balkan in circular economy. So I just wanted to give you this idea also for the next year. So the we are starting already preparing for the next innovation call that officially will be opening in around February, March. It will take the same timeline as this year. But of course, the preparation for us, but also for you, if you want to apply, starts way before. So, and this also comes in Agora that I wanted to present you today. This is an innovation platform, and it's linked to the innovation call. So be patient and I will arrive at the point. Agora is our social network and open innovation platform, and we have already more than 400 members. The objective here is to connect and broaden the relevant networks across region and sectors, to secure a space to share your ideas, discuss and collaborate with peers, and to have an easy access to all facets of our mission and our activities. So here is a real social network, but it's really specific for manufacturing industry. You can join in, ask to join in and to register and share your idea and ask other partners if they are, I don't know, experiences the same barriers to innovation, try to reach maybe the same consensus on something, work together and try to get new partners for your activities. This is where really you can do all this. And I was mentioning before the innovation call and Agora because they're linked together. So this year you really have the opportunity to be part of our decision-making process for the next innovation thematics for the call. How? So there is a Shape It consultation process. This already started in the beginning of September, and the first part will end at the end of this week. And the first part is about proposing your ideas, proposing your challenges to reach innovation, or to propose your priorities for the manufacturing industries that should be taken into account when then we, as EIT Manufacturing, prepare the guidelines for the next innovation call. This part of the process is done on Agora. So there is a sphere, we call it, so a group or a page, as a Facebook page, but it's an Agora page, in which we share all these people and partners, companies, RTOs, universities, individuals. They share their ideas for the next call or where we should focus on. And they interact with each other. They talk to each other, they discuss, and they make these ideas maybe more concrete. The next part of the process will be the hotspot creation. So working in a team to build on your hotspot according to our canvas, let's say. And then there will be the thematic selection, evaluate collectively the proposed hotspot, and vote for those that could be called thematics. And then there will be a final decision taken by EIT Manufacturing on which to include in our innovation call. So this is really a unique opportunity to get the voice of your organization heard, or your voice if you're an individual, a postdoc, and you have really an idea that should be taken into consideration. So as you can see here, it's an opportunity for every part of our innovation ecosystem, industry stakeholders, academic stakeholders, RTOs, or professionals and clusters. So, join Agora, join the conversation. Request to join here. I can also share this link on the chat of this event so that you can just click on it and then register. And once you are here on Agora, you can access not only, of course, the Shape It sphere, which is important for our innovation call of next year, but also other conversation. We have a RIS sphere in which we share all the opportunities, and we have all our partners from RIS countries in this sphere, and you can really have a conversation with them, share your events, share your projects, what you're proud of, and you can discuss with them. So it's a real opportunity for you to be part of our network without already paying a fee or be part of an activity. So this is a good first step to know what we're doing. And I think this is done. This is all from my side. I will leave the floor to my colleague Jasmina for her part.
Francesca, thank you very much. Thank you for this. Jasmina,
Thank
please
you very
go
much, Francesca, and thank you very much, Vlatko, for this opportunity to present what we do in business creation. Business creation is all about startups and SMEs, and I'm a senior business creation manager in CLC East, mainly covering the 12 countries that are in Central Eastern Europe, including Croatia. So my actually daily job is to help startups in different manners. I say this because we are not a acceleration program, we are not a incubation program. We actually provide tailor-made services that are designed to the specific needs of every startup or SME. So it really depends on case by case, because daily we face with different, let's say, companies with different stages of maturity or different technologies or solutions. So we cannot just put them into one batch and provide one solution for all of them. Business creation in general is a, let's say, one major pillar of EIT Manufacturing. And we cover the whole Europe through 5 regional offices. So in each country, there are colleagues like me that deal with startups and covering certain regions, such as, let's say, in Darmstadt, we have our colleagues covering Germany, Poland, Ireland, and Belgium and Netherlands. In the office in Gothenburg, we have our colleagues covering Scandinavian countries and Baltic countries. In the office in San Sebastian, we have our colleagues covering France, Spain, and Portugal. And then in the office in Milan, in Italy, we have the colleagues covering Israel, Italy, Israel, Switzerland, Malta. And also we somehow cover the Western Balkan non-EU member countries through the CLC East and CLC South offices. So I explain this because it's always important for companies to understand how we actually provide our services. Because if I'm based in Vienna, mainly the companies that I will work with are coming from C, but usually they would like to grow into the German market or into the Scandinavian or Western European markets. And that's how our colleagues that are based there, they are locally with their networks and partners are actually providing support in the field, let's say on the market, and using our, of course, members, but also non-member corporate partnerships. So far, through our activities, we have supported in more than 45 companies. And this is let's say, a big number compared with the time frame, because we just started somewhere October last year with a full team on board. And the first activity that we ran was Boost Up 2020 edition, where we engage with more than 200 startups. But I must say that these numbers are growing continuously, because we daily interact with startups through normally scouting mechanism, but also through our other programs that I will present later. So what we provide as services is mainly business development, access to markets. It means that we provide access to new markets to startups and SMEs, or let's say markets where they are present, but not enough. So they would like to expand. And through our network, we try to help them in the expansion. Also, access to finance is one of our services. It means we provide also some funding for startups in different forms. Sometimes we provide prizes if it's a competition. Sometimes we provide investment in a form of safe agreements, like for future equity, or maybe convertible notes. It really depends on case by case and how we negotiate with each company. And this is not only for startups that are already having certain traction and are growing, the scale-ups as we call them, but it's also open for startups that are just in the beginning, in the creation stage, where they have, let's say, maybe a team and certain solution already ready to start with commercialization, or early stage companies that have, let's say, that are incorporated in the past 2 years. So it's very early stage target group in this case. On the other side, we have certain specialized services like IP management and the marketing and investment readiness program that is mainly focused on the improving the pitch deck of startups, but we never provide one service as a standalone service. We try to combine them and provide them in a package to the startups. So these are, let's say, our programs. We have Create, Accelerate, Transform. Create is for the early stage startups, Accelerate for the scale-ups in a sense. Transform is all about SMEs. This is a quite specific program. And then we have two activities run by our partners, like Gazelle Factory, that is run by Aerospace, Volley, and a few other partners, and VACMT, that it's mainly focusing to SMEs in the automotive industry. So when we talk about create and accelerate startups, we talk about startups that have solutions for the manufacturing sector. So this can be also digital solutions. And in terms of technologies, we have, let's say, in our portfolio, different type of companies that come with different type of solutions for the industry. In general, it can be Industry 4.0 solutions, but we deal with AI applied in the manufacturing sector, AR, VR, robotics, additive manufacturing, green tech, different type of solutions that can, let's say, increase the productivity of the sector, the efficiency, or let's say, in some sense, make the sector more resilient and sustainable. When we talk about the SMEs, it's always manufacturing companies, because we are, let's say, trying to connect the startup solutions and the solutions from our innovation activities with the SMEs. So the idea here is that we help manufacturing companies to improve their operations and their production. One of our success stories is Boost Up. As I mentioned, we started running this as a first activity of business creation last year. It helped us to promote our services, but also to identify the most promising entrepreneurs and startups in the regions. It was, let's say, basically regional competition that then the final winners went on the European level to compete. We still work with some of these startups that won the challenge. And we are running a different type of Boost Up this year. One of the Boost Up Boost Up challenges was mainly about RIS countries. So we wanted to target specifically these countries because it's sometimes harder for them to compete with, let's say, the startups that are coming from these countries are harder. It's harder for them to compete with startups coming from Germany or the Western European countries. We noticed that there are really some really nice technologies and solutions, but when we compare the scalability between the company coming from, let's say, a CE country and a company from Germany, you can already see that in 2 years, someone that is doing in Germany and showing certain traction, it's harder for a startup to do the same in CE countries. So that's why we had the Boost Up RIS competition, and we will try to cover this side of Boost Up in next year edition too, because we find it as a very important segment that help us also network and have in our portfolio enough RIS companies too, not just to have, let's say, the ones coming from the developed countries in terms of innovation. So the Boost Up Bridge is a special edition that I would like to present today. The call is already closed, but we have really nice companies that are already interacting with our corporates that published the challenges. So we had Voestalpine High Performance Metals from Austria, Whirlpool EMEA from Italy, Eroski from Spain, and KUKA from Germany, publishing their challenges, and startups could come with their solutions and apply to take part in the Boost Up Bridge. It was really simple process in the beginning. Now the hard work is on the startups to actually, after the workshop with the corporates and more details, to now propose the solutions and develop them in a more detailed manner. Somewhere 18th of October, during the World Manufacturing Forum, a week in Milan, we will have the finals, and I invite you all to register for this event, because it's a good opportunity to see how we promote the cooperation between startups and corporates, and the funding is on us. So the proof of concept that will be selected as best by the corporate and the jury will be funded by EIT Manufacturing up to 50,000 euros. So we motivate the corporates to start the cooperation, and if they see the value, then they continue on commercial basis. However, the startup on the other side keeps the IP and the solution, and they can sell it to other corporates too commercially. Another program for SMEs that it's still open, there are a few days to apply. It's the Sme Transform call. It's all about SMEs and how they would like to transform themselves in any manner. It can be digital transformation, transformation related to circular economy, transformation related to automation, robotization, or green tech, or any topic that will improve their operations, but also bring some financial benefits. Here we have one non-financial package where they can apply for expert support, because we usually leverage our huge network around Europe, not just with corporates and with universities and RTOs, but also with experts in different topics. So based on that, we can bring the, let's say, latest expertise and the best technologies to the SMEs. And one package for the SMEs is to apply just for the expertise support, and the other one is to apply for financial support too, including the technical support with experts. So here we provide up to 150,000 euros to SMEs, which is 50% of the project costs. The SMEs can also come with an expert. So sometimes the SMEs, if they don't have the capacity to write the transformation project and calculate the benefits from financial point of view, they can also involve experts, or experts can involve SMEs that they know would benefit from certain technology and apply together until 30th of September. Maybe there is a chance to, let's say, extend the deadline, but anyhow, we plan to continue this activity in the next year too. And last but not least is the Discover Vienna Manufacturing Edition, which is open until 11th of October. Here, startups from CE countries only, including Croatia, can apply to receive 2 months free of charge support from me and my team in business development and investment readiness mentoring. Plus, on top of it, there will be 2 weeks intensive program in Vienna. But don't be afraid, intensive doesn't mean that we will occupy all your time while you're in Vienna. You can still have time to work here in the co-working space, because we will plan to have sessions for 1-2 hours per day. The rest of the time is planned that the startups use it to network, to meet other people, to schedule other meetings while they're in Vienna, to expand their market maybe, and also to meet investors or anyone that can be beneficial for their growth. And the idea is that they have, let's say, the startups get an initial view into the industry and into the market in the Viennese ecosystem. So it's a good opportunity for someone that is still exploring Austria as a market. On the other side, there will be still time to work in the co-working space, so you don't forget your job in 2 weeks, but you still have time to do your daily operations. And one of the partners, Hotspot, will have, let's say, a session where you can network with them, learn what innovation challenges they have, and also establish a connection, so you might start also a cooperation with them. We somehow make easier for startups to soft land into Austrian market, but also into the our own network. So Hotspot, Atos, and Magna will be part of the program, and also other ecosystem players and financial institutions that are important in the ecosystem, like Vienna Business Agency, because they are our partner of the program. And also together with AWS, the biggest Austrian bank for startups, we are organizing a corporate matchmaking event where startups can meet corporates on 4th of November. So I encourage everybody that is today here to spread the message. But if you're a startup, to consider this also for applying, because it's a good start to use our services and maybe to enter further into our programs for longer term and to be considered for our investment vehicle. So we have 2 success stories so far. Revo Foods, we help them in access to finance, we help them in incorporation, and at the end they received also some investments. So they are quite successful in raising funding from private investors, but also from Vienna Business Agency and FFG that are our partners too. And they raised around 2 million euros already. But when they won the Boost Up East 2020 edition in Vienna, they were just a team. So it's quite an impressive case that by September this year, they are so successful. And then we have Ondosense, that is a German startup, more mature than Rebel Foods. They received our access to market support and also an investment of 300,000 euros. And on top of that, they also are receiving introductions to corporates and expansion in different markets. So they also have a equity round of 1 million euros after our support. So yes, this is it on my side. Thank you very much for this invitation, and I'm looking forward to the questions.
Thank you, Jasmina. Thank you very much for this. Thank you for showing all the opportunities that are currently open. So the deadlines, as you can see, are for some of them are quite close. I think September 30th for the SME Transform. And I know that there are companies and experts from Croatia who have already expressed interest. So I want you to join. And then also for the Discover Vienna, which the deadline is October 11th. So a little bit more time, but this is really a good opportunity for somebody who is just starting and would like to feel, especially your Austrian market, but also I think through the communication with the business Jasmina and the rest of the business creation team, then to explore the the wider European markets as well. So thank you, Jasmina, very much for all of this. I see that all the links are shared in the chat. So if you are interested in Discover Vienna link is there, and also Francesca shared Agora link. So Agora is a really good opportunity to really connect with different people who are manufacturing innovators. And I think it is wonderful for EIT Manufacturing to have provided such a venue that people can connect one-on-one, they can connect as individuals or as organizations. So please use this opportunity, join the community and start the discussions. With that in mind, I don't see any questions in the chat as of yet, but please, I encourage you to pose the questions, and then we will ask them at the end of the session, at the end of the event. And we are going to move now then to the second part, I would say, of our presentations, and we will hear two stories from Croatian companies who have taken part in EIT manufacturing programs. And the first company is Rom Technologies, and it will be presented by Damian Miklic, the CEO of the company. And I'm very happy to have Damian here, for Damian to join us here, because I met Damian the first time some time ago when he was a researcher at University of Zagreb Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computing. So he was working as a PhD student and later then as a postdoc in the field of robotics, in the field of autonomous systems. And that at one point in his life, and we were part of this, decided to switch. So decided to form a company, Rom Technologies, that will be fully dedicated to providing these solutions, autonomous solutions, mobile solutions, and robotic solutions. And Damian, please go ahead, and we would really like to hear your story, to hear the story about the Rom Technologies and also your experience with the EIT manufacturing.
Thank you very much, Vlatka, for the introduction. And sorry, let me just share. Can you see my screen?
Yes, thank you. Perfect. And
thank you very much, for this opportunity to present our company and also to present our first-hand experience from so far, just a small fraction of the wealth of EIT manufacturing programs that were presented by Francesca and Jasmina. Just first to give you a quick overview of what it is actually that we do. So this is a prototype of our technology, which is a so-called AGV, automated guided vehicle, or it's basically a forklift or any other kind of low transportation vehicle, which can perform its tasks autonomously. In this case, we also we converted the manual forklift into an into a vehicle that can be operated autonomously. But in fact, the focus of our core business is software development. So we develop the software algorithms that enable to this vehicle to perform its tasks, which means it has to localize itself in the environment. It has to be able to plan its path to perform its task. It has to be able to follow this path very accurately. And these are all things that we actually started developing at the university through through a long time, through research and development projects. And 3 years ago, we were able to spin this off into a company that's now providing the software commercially. So let me just give you a quick overview of the history of the company, how we got here. So at the end of 2018, we created this spin out of the Laboratory for Robotics and Intelligence Control Systems of the University of Zagreb Faculty of Electrical Engineering. And together with all of the 6 co-founders, 5 are employees of the university, and I went out and became full-time employee of the company. Immediately, we were able to secure the first client and our first grant. The client was actually approached us after reading one of our research papers, and they said, "Oh, this is really interesting technology that you have for vehicle localization. Can you implement this for us?" We say, "Yeah, why not? How much can you pay?" So this is how we got started. At the same time, we also got a grant through a program which was administered by Vlatka's organization. So the Center for Technology Transfer at the University of Zagreb was administering this proof of concept program, which was really instrumental in getting our company off the ground. And we were able, with this grant and this first client, we were able to have 2 full-time employees, and we were accepted at the Zagreb Innovation Center for incubation. By next year, through another grant, which was specifically tailored to SMEs and administered by Hamag Bikro, we were able to expand our team to 5 full-time employees. And we're also able to acquire a second client, a large logistics automation company in Italy. So at this time we were able to have a team of substantial size, which can really provide value to the market and to our companies. Towards the end of 2020, we were accepted at EIT Manufacturing Gazelle Accelerator, and that's something this experience I will share in a little bit more detail in a short time. We actually originally applied for the Boost Up program, which we're not accepted for, but instead we're then redirected to the Gazelle program. And although the Gazelle program didn't have a financial grant, it included a lot of very valuable business development services that helped us grow and also kind of sharpen our focus as a company. Then a couple of months ago, we also applied to the EIT Manufacturing EVO-R program. This is Evolution of Research. And we got a grant for 30,000 euros until the end of the year to develop a new product, which I will also elaborate a little bit on shortly. And so we plan to finish this year with basically double the sales revenue from last year, and being completely financially self-sufficient and able to use the grants, not depending on grants anymore to, let's say, survive, but really being able to use grants to invest into further developing our product offering. So in really being able to do some R&D and provide further innovative solutions for the market. And so after finishing this EVOR program, we're expecting to have a new product launch at the beginning of next year. So we applied to the Gazelle Open Call, which was about a year ago, and this was a program which was really very well structured and intensive. In about a month, we had several different activities. What we as a company appreciated a lot was that this program was separated in, let's say, two tracks. One was access to market and the other one was access to finance. So access to finance was more focused on finding investors for the company, where access to market was more focused on presenting ourselves to the customers. And this is a concept that is maybe for me underrepresented in the programs that are offered generally to startups. So when you are in a startup, everybody's always talking about the investment, about access to finance, whereas we as a company are more focused on the customer. And I think this is also because generally all the investors that we talk to, they said, you know, if you have customers, you're going to get the investor. If you have an investor, it's not necessary that you will have a customer. So for us as a company, as our vision of our development, this access to market is really more fundamental. So we were able to prepare an access to market pitch, which was also maybe new to me as a concept, because like I said, the pitch that you pitch to an investor is very, very different from pitch that you pitch to a customer. And for us, this was really a very good, this was a good way of being able to think about our core value propositions to our customers, of setting these propositions in context of the competing products in the market, and also actually enable us to realize and to focus that there is some technology that we need to invest in further in order to bring a product to further differentiate ourselves from the competition. In the end, there was also a pitch competition and some B2B meetings. We didn't win the pitch competition, but still it was a very valuable experience. So with this experience and with the, oops, sorry, I stopped sharing. This was not my intention. With this experience, we were able to apply to the next program, to this EVOR, and also something that was beneficial to us, that this was this program was focused on RIS, Regional Innovation Scheme countries, which I think it was just made easier for us to compete and to obtain the grant. Also, a very positive aspect of this was, so this grant can be maybe compared to the proof of concept grant that we had before, but this grant is it was the procedure to get the grant was much simpler than most of the grants that we have applied for so far. So there was less work, but I think still we had to put in the work to figure out the value proposition and to really so I think we wrote a good project proposal, but we were not burdened too much with maybe unnecessary administrative things. And the program is 5 months in duration. The grant is 30,000 euros, which is maybe doesn't sound like much, but if you look at it, that it's only for 5 months. It's actually quite an intensive boost for a company of our size, and it supports the activities are development, customer acquisition, market launch preparation, and also 2 other eligible activities are certificate acquisition and company establishment, which wasn't necessary for us, so we don't have these activities in our project. What we will do within this project is we will further develop some machine vision based solution. So this is, let's say, what we have now entering into the project. It is a visual perception pipeline which uses machine learning to provide semantic perception of the environment in the warehouse. So the image that you can see in the top left corner is the image from the camera mounted on a forklift, and the image below it is semantically labeled pixels of the whole environment. So basically, our idea is to recognize objects of interest for the vehicle, such as differentiate between people, drivable terrain, other vehicles, and especially the orange labels that you can see in the image are pallet faces, which we want to use to be able to adaptively pick up pallets. This is something that's really, to the best of my knowledge, something that doesn't yet exist in the market. So there is no widely roll out commercial solution that can perform adaptive pallet pickup. So pick up a pallet which is arbitrarily placed in the environment. And this is a use case which is especially relevant in production environments, because in production environments, still there is a lot of human work involved. And in all these cases, objects are not placed perfectly in the environment. And this so far has been a really big obstacle in implementing automated material handling solutions in production environments. So we believe that this solution is really going to be a step forward and really will enable greater proliferation of automated material handling in production environments. So this is it basically for my presentation. I'll be happy to take some questions.
Damian, thank you very much. Thank you for this. Again, I invite everybody to ask questions. Please don't be shy. We will have a Q&A session at the end, as there are no questions at the moment. But please join us and use this opportunity. I think this is wonderful that we have, different types of perspectives. So people from the EIT Manufacturing who are managing the funds and managing the programs, and then of course the users. I also, when Damian was talking, and I was preparing mentally also as well for the next presentation and speaker, I was really struck with this idea that even though I think these online events are a little bit difficult for us after almost or over a year or different online and Zoom events. They're also a very great opportunity for us to get people who would otherwise maybe be difficult to bring them all together. So we started in Zagreb, then we went to Paris for Francesca's presentations, then we went to Jasmina in Vienna, came back to Zagreb for Damian, and now we are staying in Croatia, but we are in fact going to Zadar because our next speaker is Marin Juran from HS-TECH. So HS-TECH is a local company, but an established local company with over 20 years of experience. And it will be very interesting to hear their story as well, and to hear the different programs from, again, EIT Manufacturing, where they were able to join. Marin is engineer. He has an engineering degree from University of Zagreb, Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and Naval Architecture, and then has extensive experience with the HS-TECH in R&D department, and where he is now head of development and design. So Marin, please take the mic and tell us more about the HS-TECH and about your experience with EIT Manufacturing.
Hello, thank you. First of all, thank you for providing this opportunity to present HS-TECH company and our projects with EIT Manufacturing. I have prepared two presentations. First is just a general presentation of the HS-TECH for you to get to know our company. And the second presentation is about the project that we currently have with EIT Manufacturing, which is still ongoing. So just a minute, I would like to share the screen. Okay. So can you just confirm it to me that you see it clearly?
It's good. Thank you. Perfect.
Okay. So HS Tech is a relatively young company. It is 27 years old, and we are, how to say, specialized in motorized spindles and complete solutions in industrial automation and robotics. So we are founded in 1997 here in Zadar as design and development department for the drive technology, especially in machine tool industries. Currently today we have 100 employees here in HS Tech, and we are all located at the same place. Our building has a 3,500 square meters, and all our departments such as design, development, production, assembly, and testing are all located in a same place. And so where we are, as you already mentioned, we are located in the Zadar, in the middle of the Adriatic coast. Our main headquarters is there, and as I will mention later, we are mostly export-oriented company, and our main market is in European Union, mostly in Germany, but also we are selling our products worldwide, and it depends on the product groups. For one product group, this means motorized spindles, we have a representative also in China. And for other products groups, some kind of special machines, representative in Singapore for the, let's say, East Asian market. European market and markets which are located in, and the customer located in United States, usually we cover here from Zadar directly. So generally, roughly 80% of our turnover is exported out of Croatia. And as I mentioned before, on the top right corner, you can see our main markets. Below, you can see roughly our turnover during the years. Of course, we would like to forget the last year, as I think most of industry partners want to, because of the COVID crisis. We had some decrease in turnover. But during this year, it has increased rapidly. What also I would like to point out is that during last year we have invested a lot in development. It is not those investments are not, how to say, put in our machine park and so on, but it is only the development of our products. Those investments are in our people. So the industries where we are present, mostly in automotive industry, electronic industry, food processing. Here you can see a lot of fishes. We have a strong food, especially fish industry here in Zadar region, and glass mold industry, which is very, very important industry for us. Roughly, we have divided our products into 4 product groups. First, and most important for us, are high performance motorized spindle, and especially drive components in machine tool industry. And this is roughly 50 to 60% of our turnover. And we are not a company that is, how to say, we don't have a catalogs. All our products are customized according to customer needs. And as I mentioned before, we have 100 employees in HS Tech, and 25% of our employees work in development and design, which is really, really big amount for such an industrial company. And in this niche, we are really, really strong and well known all over the world, and especially in high-end production and high precision production, for where we are basically number one referent from the components such as Schaeffler Groups, Bosch Rexroth, which are really big companies with more over 100,000 employees all over the world. In this in this product group, we have really different type of solutions, all prepared for Industry 4.0, with how to describe to you. The motorized spindle is basically the main component of every machine tool which is used in production, and we offer very different type of solutions such as active balancing system, active compensation system in the spindle, data loggers which are integrated in the spindle, which can store all the data from the monitoring vibration, temperature, if there is crash on machine. And for all those applications, we have developed our own software which support the product and which can be used also for some kind of predictive maintenance. And this is one screenshot how it's work to collect all the data from the rotational speed, temperature, and it can really store all the data. And usually when we receive it here on service, in some case, we know exactly what happened. Just for you to understand why it is important that it is a part of some small machine tool component, because if you sell a product to such a big company, for example, Daimler, they want to be the owner of all the data which is recorded on the machine, and usually they don't want to give it to the machine manufacturer. In this case, this small component remember everything, and you can really do the predictive maintenance and really find out what has happened with that product. And it is now, today, last 2 years, it is really, high in demand. Second product group is advanced industrial automation. Here we are offering not only standard robotic machine tending, but also there is always additional value such as measuring station, machine vision system, 2D, 3D, beam picking system. And here on this photo behind, you can see our standard universal robotic cell, which was developed last year. And what is offering is that you have a machine tending on one machine, and you can within half an hour, or maybe 1 hour, move the robotic cell, place it on another machine, and tend that machine. So that's the reason why it's called universal or flexible modular. Another example is some kind of special robotic automation. Behind are all photos from our projects with the different customers all over the Europe mostly. And those solutions are always special. For example, in top left corner, you can see DMC code writing system and automation. In the middle is one photo which shows the camera with light for beam picking system. In top right corner is a measuring station, because nowadays it is not only goal to automate machine tending, it is also to make an automated measuring process, cleaning process, and everything should be on site, because the manufacturing costs are very, very high, and it has to be on time. Additional product group is special machine tools and machine tools component. On top right corner, you can see, on top left corner, you can see 5-axis measuring machine, which we have delivered to our customer in United States. And the purpose of that is to measure a jet engine blade with some advanced camera system in micron accuracy. So it was a quite challenge for us to deliver such a machine. In bottom left corner, you can see some automatic assembly machine, which we delivered here in Croatia, and additional grinding machine in the top right, bottom right corner, you can see a special machine for assembling the car handles. And so far we have delivered them for 3 manufacturers. You all know those are well-known companies such as Volkswagen, Renault, Fiat, and so on. So here on this slide, you can see roughly what services and products do we offer for a smart factory, which is today really important topic. And of course, in the center is our most important product is the motorized spindle, transport and handling systems, machine tending, special robotic applications, and advanced vision system and predictive maintenance. And at the end, of course, smart spindles. We have also spindle service. Basically, southern from Germany, there is no company that is making that, and that was really good opportunity for us because our core business are spindles. So this how to say department is growing very, very fast, and it is also a good opportunity to increase our growth with our own products. I will skip some part just to keep in time. We also have high precision manufacturing, which secures our quality, and because of that, we are existing still today, and we are positioned in some niches all over the world, mostly because of that special production. This is our reference list, and only some part, but for us really big, important customers. Here you can see from small companies, really well-known companies all over the world, and of course our also well-known company Rimac, which we are proudly to announce as our customer. We are also representative from some companies such as Bosch Rexroth. We are also certified solution partner for them. Wittgenstein, Alpha Getriebe, for some other companies such as Baluf, Hoffmann, and Mitutoyo. We are also dealers on our market. So thank you, and that was short about HS Tech. You can also find more information about us on our website and our LinkedIn channel and YouTube channel. And now my second presentation is our project with EIT. Just a minute. So our first information about EIT Manufacturing we received from our colleagues from Chalmers University in Göteborg at the beginning of last year, and they planned to submit one project for waste-free machining, and they asked us, are we going to be their partner on that field? We were a bit surprised. Of course, we accepted it. We love challenges as always, and this project is still ongoing. It has begun at the January of this year. Of course, during 2020, we had to prepare the complete paperwork for the submission, and this paperwork is really important. I will only share our experiences. We are relatively new with EIT Manufacturing. You can correct me later on, but I will share some facts that we are familiar. Maybe they are wrong. In any case, this is the most challenging part, this preparation, because you have to define from the early beginning research and development. You have to give some deliverables during the project, define really good time plan, and deal with dissemination, and further on how to sell those products at the end, and how all we can benefit from those systems that we develop. of course, as I mentioned, we have one ongoing project. Later on, I will tell more details about it. In the meantime, we have also submitted papers for 3 additional projects, and we are still in how to say, waiting phase, waiting for some reply. And as in this ongoing project here, we also had some university partners and industry partners. I won't mention them separately. Their logos are shown on this slide. So I will start now what we had to do to apply for the project, for the co-funding. And the first step was also the registration on the European, on the EIT Manufacturing Plaza portal. This is really important step. It is very easy step, of course, and here you have to enter all the basic information about the company and main contact person. Here we also uploaded main documents and, of course, contracts which we have signed with EIT Manufacturing. So this is our project. It is about cryogenic machining, and as I already told you, it has begun from the beginning of this year. The overall objective of this is to bring a newly patented methods of advanced cooling and lubrication with liquid nitrogen and liquid carbon dioxide to application from medical, aerospace, and steel sectors. This means we have a lot of participants, some from industry, some from the universities. Each has its own role, and each is responsible for their own work project. And on next slide, you can see our partners. In top left corner are industry partners, and university partners are Chalmers University from Göteborg, Technische Universität in Wien, and University of Ljubljana. And just a rough presentation what is behind our project. In top right corner, you can see conventional production, and below you can see what is our goal to achieve with this project. Of course, it is improvement in machining quality and efficiency, significant improvement in productivity, and those numbers are not, how to say, estimated. They are also part of some, how to say, research that is done also before in some cases. And of course, really, really important is improved sustainability, because there is no metal working fluids, no waste, and it's really clean technology. Our goal is also during this project, I must point out that it is a 2-year project, is to have a use case pilots, because in this project we defined an industry sectors which have the biggest potential to use this technology. Of course, it is medical industry, aerospace industry, and steel making industry. And each partner in our, how to say, consortium is responsible for each work package to test. So this is some kind of Gantt chart that is also presented in our paperwork. What is really important here is that you should really stick rigid to this plan, and there is no basically adjustment later on. Really important thing is during each phase, we have to present our deliverables, in which we represent the current research state, what are the current what are the current expenses, our costs, on which we could further on base our co-founding with EIT Manufacturing. And there has to be several of them during each, how to say, quarter, and they should be really detailed described. Of course, this is ongoing project, so I cannot tell you currently the complete story or complete information. We'll see what will be at the end. And this is one example of the presentation, how we described the costs in one of the deliverables. Based on this estimation, on these facts, we received a co-funding. And of course, we divided them in personal costs, from which we found our engineers. I must say that also some colleagues on university, they are financing their own PhD students. And on this project, there are 2 PhD students that will be done or that will be finished on this project, which is really a good thing. What we also had to do is the market analysis, and based on that analysis, there are some estimation percentage on each, how to say, branch or each niche. So, for example, automotive, aerospace, medical, and potential customers, which are really big companies all over the world, which could use those systems. And at the end, I would like to show you how it's defined, each role from each, how to say, participant in this project. Our leader on this project is Chalmers University, and our work package here is to develop a new spindle which will provide cryogenic machining to new machines, and also to make a retrofit, so to secure that the already existing machines which are working at the customer can also be adapted to this new technology. And the final goal here is to create a new company, some kind of startup, which will commercialize this system and bring it to the market in the future. And of course, at the end, we will all have benefits from those sales activities. Yeah. I hope I have managed to give you some inside information about our project. And if you have some question, feel free to ask. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Marin. We have questions, but I will postpone them until the Q&A session because we have our next speaker who will have to leave after the presentation. So he will stay connected and listen in, but won't be able to present. So let us then move to this next and last presentation of the day, and this is from our hub partners. So your Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and Naval Architecture at the university, and of course speaking will be Miro Hegedic, who is in charge of this EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge activity that we are doing together. So Miro, please take the mic and give us all the information.
Thank you, Latka. Thank you for all the speakers that were presenting before me. I really like the presentations, so I hope you all will like the presentation that I'm going to present. So we have already presented EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge in previous events, and this time we have some updated information. But for those who were not present on those events before, I will just shortly explain what EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge is all about, and then give you some updates what is happening. So EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge would like to solve some current challenges that companies and startups are facing. So, for example, on one hand, we have manufacturing companies. Those are mostly SMEs, which practically have limited capacity for technology development or innovation itself. And mostly this is presented in human capital. They also are inclined to enter high-risk projects. That's why they take on projects which do not have so big risk. And we believe that knowledge and financial resources are often limited, or those are lacking for the implementation of new technologies in manufacturing companies. And from the other side, we have startup teams. Startup teams, I have been working with many different startups, and I know that most of them, they do not have direct contact or good contact with manufacturing companies, and often they make solutions. They come up with solutions which are not related to real problems that exist, for example, in this case, in manufacturing companies. But also there is a problem. Faculties and students are not adequately connected to industry. So those are two challenges that on one side manufacturing companies and on the other side startups have. And we would like to solve these challenges with EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge. So our goal is to provide a better connection between startup teams and manufacturing companies and enable more startups to do business-to-business projects with industry partners. Therefore, we would like to have 4 companies which already defined their challenges, which are going to be later solved or addressed by startup teams through a structured innovation process. The whole idea behind EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge is based on the concept of open innovation. So we would like to kind of destroy boundaries around companies and help them work with people who are outside of the company, so they can come up with better ideas or more innovative ideas to the current challenges that they are facing. So let me explain this in like smaller or better details. On one side, we have companies that define challenges. So we already did that. The companies got support from EIT Manufacturing Hub Croatia experts. And on the other side, we have startups that are working on the solution. So from October, we are going to look for startups and startup teams that are going to work on EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge challenges that are defined by companies. So here is a project timeline. We have published our call early, like late in summer, and we had 4 companies that applied for the challenges. So we were working with companies to define those challenges. We are in the late phase now with the last challenge that is being defined. So we will have 4 challenges, or we have already 4 challenges, and we will publish them on the EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge website, which is being built at the moment. And after that, startups teams will be able to take on a specific challenge, work with a company, and provide solution which are going to be evaluated by the companies in the last phase of our innovation challenge, which is a solution presentation that's going to take part from 29th of November to 3rd of December. So first week in December, we're going to have those presentations. And as we have 4 challenges, 4 companies, we'll have a demo day, which is an event at which the best solutions from each challenge are going to be presented to the wider audience. So we are currently in this phase. So practically in the next 1 week, we are planning to publish all the details on our website regarding the challenges and all the input for teams, how to register, and the program in itself. So I still am not allowed to talk about the names of the companies, but I see some representatives of those companies being on this event. So I would like to greet those representatives. But I would like to discover that we have 4 companies in 4 different segments. We intentionally worked with or kind of organize our search to those companies. So we have a company in the food sector. We have one company that's a foundry, which is strongly like mechanical engineering company. We have one pharmaceutical company, and we have one equipment manufacturer. So those companies, we will announce them on the 4th of October on EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge website. So I would like to make an open call, not anymore for companies, but for you who are interested to work on solutions for defined challenges. I would like to invite you to join the EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge and help us improve together how innovation in manufacturing is done. All the information will be sent to you through email, and we have planned quite extensive marketing campaign in the next following month. So this is in short about EIT Manufacturing Innovation Challenge. In case you have questions or anything, just send me an email or write in chat. I will be happy to answer those questions. And thank you all for listening.
I'm muted. Thank you, Mira. Thank you very much. So I know that you have to leave. You can answer if there are any questions in the chat, or we can take them through the mail. We have had some questions already coming through the chat, and I will, so maybe the first question is for High-Tech and for Marin, but I hope Francesca can also join in later. And this is the question is. Is High-Tech a member of EIT Manufacturing?
Yes, we are. When you register on the Plaza portal, you are basically a member, and you always receive an information and important topics from EIT automatically.
Okay, and I think that Francesca also wants to pitch in, because there are different types of membership. So there's this activity partner, which I think you are, but there's also this full member or full partner. And Francesca, please join in.
Correct, you read my mind. Yes, we have different type of membership indeed. We have activity partners. This is what I think Marin was talking about. You have, of course, the right to join in activities, to receive funding, and so on. You have a lower fee to pay for being part of our ecosystem compared to a full member. So full members have the right to also, be the leading partner of a project, and to work with us on establishing, let's say, the guidelines and the topics. So as full member is a higher fee. Now we are in the moment of evaluating the membership fees on the sense of based on what kind of organization you are. But this will come in due time. But yes, I just wanted to, let's say, clarify this difference.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Francesca. And I know that it will be really, looking forward to hearing the news about the membership fee structure, of course, and also to understand then how different types of organizations can join. We do have one specific question for you again, and this is about this Plaza and Agora. How are they different?
Yes, so I read this. I wanted to answer in person. So Plaza is our platform that are accessible for only activity partners and full members, let's say. So when you're part of an activity, let's say officially, you have access to Plaza, and in Plaza you have many different opportunities to work on your activities, but also to access our brand corner, to access other legal documents, and to also find contacts within our network. Agora is more of a social network in the sense it's more to discuss, to raise ideas, to maybe, network some more with also external. So we do not only have activity partners and full members in Agora, but also external. So this is also why it's so important for us to spread the word, because as an external organization, individual, you can join in Agora and be part of our network without the, let's say, fee part, or like the formal legal part.
Okay, Francesca, thank you. We do have one more question, and before that, I want to just give a brief introduction on a different side, because what we were able to hear is two presentations from two companies, and one is a startup company, and the other one is an established company. And I hope that you, as an audience, have seen the difference, of course, in the companies themselves, but in the type of calls they were applying to as well. And this is very, very important, because what we want you, just not just to present the opportunities, but to also help with these events, and then of course later on, we want support to guide you to the right opportunity. So what we had for the startups, they were really like short timeline for the application, couple of months, weeks, and then short timeline for the implementation as well, because the understanding is that for a startup company, you want to move a product quickly, you want to maybe learn some business development skills, again, quickly to be able to reach the market. So everything was really on a short timeline. And then when we High-Tech presented, he was talking about something very different. And these are big collaborative projects to develop a new technology. And these projects are taking, multiple partners. They are taking a longer time to implement, so 2 years to implement, but also because they're taking multiple partners from different, parts of Europe and different organizations, they took longer to prepare in terms of both consortium building, but also of this application timeline for this innovation calls of EIT Manufacturing that are going to sort of start every year, but the preparation actually starts the year before. And this is what Francesca was talking earlier, that the calls for the innovation part for this long project, they will be open in February, but actually networking will start in November, so very close, or even now when you join Agora and start talking to people. So very, very, I would say, different logic. And of course, you as a company or as a research group can pick, which of these types of calls are the best fit. And we have a question which is, I would say, a little bit different from the audience. And I'm not sure, maybe for Jasmina, because she's working with business creation the most. And this is about third party, about financial guarantees. So do you, and the question, is it possible for a third party company to give financial guarantee for SMEs for high risk projects? So I'm not quite sure, maybe Francesca can join and ask the question in person as well. Is this in relation to a specific EIT manufacturing call, or is this a general question?
No, it's a general question. Miro was mentioned that SMEs usually have a challenge with the financial for high-risk projects.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, for our challenge, I mean the activity that we are organizing, you're de-risking by putting it in a, I would say, competition format. So the de-risking in essence that the company has a little lower initial, time to, well, it has time to prepare for the challenge, but not necessarily has the time expend as much time as they would be doing it internally, because they are bringing in an external organization or external team who will help them solve this. So they are risking to this, I would say, open innovation approach. We can ask, we have now also HiStack with us, and maybe, and this is actually the question I wanted to ask you, irrespective from what Croatian now posed, is because you have so much employees in research, and your research is part of your DNA, if you want to use this, expression, in terms of both new lines of products, but also having every single product which is also bespoke. So there is specific technical difficulties that you need to solve with a single product. How do you de-risk? How do you manage risk in your R&D operations?
It is usually everyday job, and of course you cannot set the risk to minimum. And during our history, we, how to say, very simple sentence, sometimes we lost a big amount of money, and sometimes we lost a big amount of time, but from each project we learned something. And if you compare, maybe during 1 year we had some unsuccessful projects, but maybe we were in some projects ahead of time, and at that time there weren't any customer, so you could not commercialize that, but you gained some knowledge which we use today. Such a data logger system that I presented in our presentation is one example, because we had an idea 10 years ago to start with that, but at that moment there was no customer who liked to pay additional amount of money for such a service. Because now the Industry 4.0 is basically present last, let's say, 7 to 8 years. Now it's more and more in demand. So now we are gaining some benefits from, how to say, those projects. But you have to accept that risk every time. It is easier when you are a bigger company. Let's say 10 years ago, there was 40 people in HS Tech. Now when it's 100, it is a bit easier, because you have your risk, how to say, is lower. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I hope I helped you. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much for this. And I think that, and you also made this very important point in the end. It can be different. I mean, depending on the stage of growth of the company and how much they can sort of set aside for research and then sort of put these benefits versus costs into the balance. And I think with Krešemir's question, which was about SMEs, so how do you, when we are talking about the risky things for the SMEs, whether they're taking part in some challenge or in general, maybe Jasmina, you can join in and say what would be your perspective on supporting and stimulating companies to continue in R&D, to continue in activities which could be high risk.
So thank you very much, Vlatka. We try to leverage the risk, and this is the background of all our calls and programs with the co-funding that we provide. Of course, it's 70% in even innovation proposals. It's even higher for RIS-related proposals, 100%. Maybe Francesca here can also add. So by leveraging this from financial perspective, I think we help there in leveraging the risk. Additionally, as we mentioned, we have our expertise that it's let's say all around Europe, and we could easily scout for latest technologies or expertise in certain areas. So with knowledge, we also try to leverage this risk. And we encourage SMEs to take part in the proposals, but also in other continuous programs that we run. As our role is also to connect startups to SMEs, it's not just, let's say, sometimes that they engage in long-term proposals, like 1, 2, 3 years with innovation, but they can also have some short-term activities with us through business creation, where they can, let's say, find appropriate technologies to implement in a short time with a proof of concept, and then see if they would like to continue the activities afterwards. So there are many things. It's, let's say, up to the SMEs to decide at which, what is most appropriate for them and which is, let's say, appropriate to their strategy in innovation. Of course, on the other side, we have the SMEs that are technology providers, these high-tech companies that are not the traditional manufacturing companies in a sense, not, let's say, food sector or textile, so they need the transformation of technology, but can be the providers of technology and can be the champions. So in this case, it's not taking a risk in terms of transforming the operation and the production, but it's more like a new business for the SMEs and opening doors to big corporates on European level and new markets. So I think that we offer many opportunities and everybody can find their role within EIT manufacturing depending on their, let's say, need.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Jasmina. Francesca, do you want something to add? I saw that you were nodding, but this was more in, response to what Jasmina was talking about, right?
Yes, I was just mentioning the funding rate. We follow usually the pillars funding rate. So usually, I have to say, in general, we follow the funding rate of business creation. In this case, education usually is 100%. Yes, that's true. Innovation as well, we follow them. So this is our normal policy.
Thank you. And I want to just one more maybe comment, and I think this is very important, and especially for the young companies, is this proof of concept stage. And Damian was also talking about it. So he was able to benefit from proof of concept projects which were locally available, and then from EIT manufacturing, and now this evolution of research, which is also very focused and dedicated to the, like, a specific stage of development. So I don't know. I know that you can't comment, but just you put it on the slide and saying, it will happen probably next year as well. So fingers crossed that it happens there. I would like to maybe ask again. We've been talking to you, Francesca. It's a little bit about this partnering, and we talked about Agora, but we also talked about, and High-Tech said, like the university called us from, was it Chalmers University, and they were the ones that proposed the projects. So what is your experience, and it's like general in successful projects? Are they all over, like, are they big consortia with all over Europe? Are they more regionally focused, or do you think it's not necessarily relevant? It's more about the topic and other factors.
Well, we have some criteria, let's say, that are for the innovation call I'm talking. So this is a little bit the more formal call that we have. And we have some criteria for consortium creation. In order to cover geographically more, let's say, areas of Euros and not to be focused only on one area, we ask the consortium to have partners coming from at least 2 CLC areas. So in this case, if there is someone from Croatia, they should also work together with someone from North, Estonia, Lithuania, Germany, or maybe South, so Italy, or West, Spain. So this is usually something that we ask is an obligatory criteria. So they have to also cover geographically. This is also our objectives, to link organizations around Europe. Of course, is even more important in RIS projects, because this is our objectives to really enhance the innovation capacity of countries that are not as innovators as others. So the purpose is really to work specifically on this. In terms of, you were asking also about the numbers of organization. We try to suggest to have small consortiums, maybe compared to other kind of funding opportunities, around 6 partners, because we think it's since they are short-term also projects, so it's 1 year. I think this is bringing more value to each partner then.
Okay. Thank you, Francesca, so much. We have one more specific question, which was in the chat, and this was from Damian. So he's asking about the Innovation Challenge website. Yes, it's still under construction. So what Miro mentioned is that we have companies on board, but we are not ready to publish the challenges because we are working on like finalizing the challenges itself and also finalizing the website. So very, very, very soon, you know, in early October, they will be published. They will be open to whoever wants to join. So it can be a startup. And absolutely. So I mean, if you are interested, please, you know, we will get in touch. But they can be also, you know, sort of addressed by research teams, and you will see that they are quite diverse because the companies and industries they come from are quite diverse. And you know, I want to, you know, maybe get back to you and ask this question because you raised a very, very important point, and this is that really presentations for market and presentations for raising finance are very, very different. And and you mentioned that this market access was much more important for you. And I will say probably when we are talking about companies in Croatia, that are small startups in Croatia, that is the case. Because maybe the financial markets is not so developed, and of course, because you said what you said is that you need to have customers first, and that will be important to raise finance later. So maybe can you give sort of what are the key maybe messages in this? How do you approach? How do you gain and access new customers? And you know, you mentioned that the first customer actually reached you to a science paper, which is very, very interesting, and that for high tech company this can be definitely a route. So what are your route for like developing business growth for accessing new customers?
Well, okay, so I can comment on our experience so far, we have 2 customers. So the one you mentioned was, you can call it accident. Maybe there was a little bit of luck, but also I think that it was important to do some applied research that was then interesting that was really dealing with the with real world problems. For the other customer, we also did something very unscalable. So after my contract finished at FAIR 4 years ago, I went to Italy for also to work at the university at an R&D project for a company, and this company now became our customer. So because so in our experience, even collaborating on European projects, it can be difficult to get this. You know, if you want to provide a like a deep tech solution to a big company, it's not easy to even find the right people to talk to make them understand the value that this solution brings to them, and also to make them also to kind of convince them that you can actually deliver on this solution. So this is how we have done it so far, and our biggest challenges in the next year is going to be to scale our, let's say, sales, or like to acquire further customers. And this is something that we're also looking at now through this. We have some funds allocated through this EVOR program, where but I think for us, you know, for any kind of B2B, it comes a lot to you have to like be very specific, you know, like do a lot of market research is what we're doing, reading a lot of market studies, and really kind of try to find a few companies that are promising customers, and then really directly find some contacts, which is something that I think EIT Manufacturing can be useful in, like getting access to the right people at the companies. I think this is a very important and a big challenge for startups, and yeah, possible source of value for EIT Manufacturing.
Mhm. Yes, thanks for this. And yeah, I think that, from Jasmina's presentation, especially, it's also different business development services that the small companies who are in manufacturing space can have access to by contacting. So by contacting basically Jasmina and seeing, what opportunities are. There are open calls, but there can be other opportunities one-on-one, so I would definitely invite all the companies, here who are listening to make this step and make contact with Jasmina as well. And I think also brings us to another point that is sometimes maybe for deep tech, because you did mention and you are a deep tech company, it is, accessing finance might help then to grow the company to the level to access markets better. But this is a different type of discussion. And I'm only mentioning it because I'm not sure if all the audience knows that there is a new fund in the making. So our bank, Habor, so this is the development bank, Slovenian Development Bank, and also with the support European Investment Fund, is launching a fund for technology transfer. So basically to really support small companies that were spin-offs, that were based on technology transfer coming in from the universities. And this is a chance for the companies themselves, but also for projects which have not yet spin out to come in at the proof of concept stage. This fund is now, it's not open. What is open is a call for the consortium or for the organization that will manage the fund. So we are expecting for a fund itself to launch sometime in 2022 and really provide this additional access to finance for the Croatian and for the Slovenian spin-offs and spin-outs, so really companies coming out from the research environment. So, if you are in that space, if you're interested, stay tuned. You sort of keep this in mind. There will be, of course, other announcements. And of course, use this opportunity and use the opportunity from the EIT manufacturing programs to access the market, to improve your, I would say, investment readiness. So to receive business support through this, like Discover Vienna and other programs, that will make you a better partner later on for example, accessing investment through the fund as well. So I think that these opportunities are increasing. So they're increasing at the local side, which makes me very, very happy, and they're increasing at the European side through the work of people such as Francesca and Jasmina with EIT Manufacturing and all the manufacturing programs. And we have gone, beyond our time limit. So we are 5 minutes over. And so I would really like to thank you all. Thank all the speakers for taking part. Thank all of you people in the audience who have been with us. And I hope it was an interesting experience for you. It was a useful experience to you. Don't be shy and reach out after the event as well. But for now, I do want to thank you once more and really sort of say, enjoy the rest of your day and the week and to say goodbye for now. So thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much for organizing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.